Hello and welcome back to the Awakening Philosophy podcast channel. My name is Jed and we are finishing the text today. So, what brought us here? Where are we at? We have spent the last couple of weeks reviewing everything in the book, bringing it together, and at the same time learning what's involved in reading. I hope I don't sound patronizing. I apologize if I come across as patronizing, but, I have to think and talk. So when I say, and we're learning what's involved with reading, I don't mean that in a patronizing way. I'm thinking and reviewing and recollecting. Anyway, so what's involved with reading? Well, it kind of does sound patronizing because we all think we can read. But what we are taught to do actually turns out to be this thing. What's your interpretation of the book? What does Harry Potter mean to you? What does the film mean to you? What does this poem mean to you? That's not reading, that's interpretation. Now, it might not matter when we're talking about, hey, welcome, Uberkid, when we're talking about Harry Potter or poetry, but when we are wanting to understand something significant and meaningful, like the root cause of human problems, our purpose or excellence or destiny, and how to move from one to the other so that we can have proper expertise and rulership over our own soul and lives, then it does matter whether or not we are reading, we are projecting our own beliefs, interpretation, because everything is relative to your own beliefs and interpretation, or if we're actually reading what's there to be seen. But also seeing reality, because the same thing happens when we project our beliefs onto the world and we are blocked from seeing what's significant and meaningful. So to be blocked from seeing what isn't there and to project what is there, that's how our problems operate as human beings. And it's also interpretation. In the chat, on New Chatter today, our perceptions are filtered by the goals and ambitions we consider important for ourselves. Right, well, our choice of goals, absolutely. Our choice of goals, good point. Our choice of goals that we seek in our life will therefore fall under the category of what we believe to be good and meaningful, or what we have learned to understand is actually good and meaningful. That's what makes people in this chat special, because we are learning what is actually involved in understanding. Hey, if there are primarily two ways of perceiving the world through time, belief and understanding, well, what are the parts of understanding? What's its structure? What's the activity of understanding? Isn't it curious that we're not taught this at school, considering we have these two options? On the other side of the coin, if all human problems come from our beliefs that we don't suspect we're carrying, our beliefs about what's worth pursuing in our life, our beliefs about what's good, our beliefs about what's true, and our beliefs about what makes us an expert, why aren't we taught to understand beliefs? And if beliefs function in opposition to understanding, after all, if you understood something, why would you have to believe someone else? And beliefs only work on the most ignorant, or work best on the ignorant. The less you know about something, the more you can be tricked into believing someone else. And why aren't we taught what beliefs are? And the question from the text, if understanding and the wisdom it can lead to is so fantastic, why do beliefs have such a sway over human psyches and our species? Our friend in chat says, school is meant to destroy your personality and true self. I'm convinced of it. Seems to be the way they're doing it, isn't it? If they ever wanted thinkers, they wanted obedient workers. Yes, that seems to be the age we're in. And the title of the book that we've been reading and we're about to finish, It's All Relative, seems to be the catchphrase to justify this teaching people to be obedient workers, or as you say, or in the text, inform people, not transform people. Why? Well, hey, who are we to say capitalism is wrong, or conservatism is wrong, or religion is wrong? All of these belief-based rulerships that sweep death and destruction across the land. Everything's relative, so who gives a shit? Just let us do it. So that's the implications of what we've been reading. So, yes, the implications of what we are seeing is, well, holy crap, if there are two kinds of ways that human beings can function as they rule themselves, as they choose their goals, as they choose their relationships, what rules their relationships, what rules institutions, and what will determine the fate of a species. If there are only two things, belief or understanding, why aren't we taught to understand them? Why aren't we taught to differentiate them? And if understanding is so great, why do we live in an age of injustice caused by belief? All questions we are carrying as a result of reading this banger text. Top 10. Definitely top 10 book ever written and worth reading. So, where are we? Before we finish, let's bring everyone up to speed. Do a quick review of where we are, especially for our new chatter in chat today. Well, what have we discovered from this dialogue between Harry and his friends Elia and Joseph in the Greek cafe? That's where we are. See? This is the outside of the Greek cafe, and now we're in the inside. And there they are. They're the people down there. They're listening in. What we discovered, that there are primarily, two cognitive functions that we can engage in, but there are two basic activities that distinguish us from the animals, from the caterpillars, the cabbages, and the cows. We have an X and Y button on the gamepad of being a human being. Put a little circle around them both. We have the capacity to hit the X button. There's our gamepad. That is? What a terrible gamepad. Let's do it this way, and then, oh my goodness, complete the circle. That's how you know that the magic is working. We have the capacity for logos, reason, language, and the capacity for self-reflection, to turn about upon ourselves. Usia. Wow. Those are the big two. And as we've been saying, there are two activities. A, our job, our task, to purify belief, or to surface and address and purify our false beliefs. That are the root cause of our problems, and a specific class of false belief called the pathologos, which is a root, unsuspected false belief about self and reality. So that's the pathologos. The pathologos is the understandability of problems, giving rise to this axiom. Problems are in principle solvable, and you have to trust that as an axiom to begin the game. Rational trust. And it's by following the inherent rationality of what makes us irrational that we can solve our problems. And we've been talking about, we can symbolize that with Mario crushing the Koopas. There's Mario crushing the Koopas. Mario and the turtle being crushed. And the other cognitive function that we can engage in, that we're not taught about at school, perfect understanding. And that's Mario kissing the princess. Mario here with his M hat, princess here with her crown, and she's got her sweet boobs and her sweet ass. That's my art there, it's brilliant. And they're hugging each other. So what we've been learning from the text, the inherent rationality in our excellence within the logos. Within the logos that can lead to our peak states of mind. That's the logos. The rationality of reality. So we've been seeing, hang on a second, there are two elements to expertise. There is the sameness of the model and applying it to differences. So the doctor has to know the model of medicine and be able to apply it to the different patients that it comes into his office. Same and different. Also, in our wisdom, there is a kind of sameness and difference in ousia, the sameness and the peak experience of mind turning around to know itself. That's our peak state of mind. Write that over here. Our ousia. What color is this one? State of mind. Ousia is states of mind. Various levels of heightened use of self-reflection. So in this game, we become curious about states of mind. And as Chada said, in school, they don't want you to become curious about your states of mind, your feeling states. You're supposed to be a poor worker bee for the billionaire Epstein class, says capitalist conservatives and the religious, all the belief-based groups that need to implement a false hierarchy so they can inflict their expertise by justifying their own personal beliefs. But we become interested in states of mind in reading this book. Our friend in chat, truth and understanding are only sought after you hit rock bottom. Not necessarily. We're not at rock bottom and we love understanding. But hey, maybe that could be a turning point in your life. By the way, if you start to notice, I only start doing... So by the way, we're talking about states of mind, and you can become curious about how your own states of mind play out within your own life. You can, as you learn to ousia, reflect on your life and states of mind, you can start taking notes. Let's say you have a goal, whatever it happens to be, a personally meaningful goal, not somebody else's goal. Help someone else. Don't let them help themselves. Help yourself. Personally meaningful goal. As you approach that goal, you will notice you have positive and negative states of mind. I start kind of neutral, then I have some success, but then I sort of go back down, having some negative states of mind, then I feel bad about myself, and then I kind of give up. Then I hit rock bottom, and only then can I turn around and have a good enough state of mind to reach my goal. A goal that resonates with me personally. Yeah, or a goal that you decide is significant and meaningful for you to master yourself. Something rational, something understandable. Not like, I want to kick 10 puppies today. That's not a good goal. Something rational that you want to master. But notice the states of mind you go through. After you plot the points, by the way, you can say, well, I either reach success or failure. I either get the goal or I don't. And then you can join them up. Look at this. And then do it for another goal. And if you want to move quickly in your own self-development, do it for your daydreams and the distracting tangents. Say you're reading a book and you go on a fantasy, you stop reading and you daydream about talking to the cute girl at the supermarket. Plot the states of mind. Because at some stage you either get the girl or you don't, because something wakes you up to go back to, well, I'm not actually in the supermarket, I'm reading. The idea is to, after you've started to notice and reflect in this kind of a way, oh, by the way, dreams, especially the drama in your dreams, you can start asking a question. Why is it that I have to hit rock bottom before I turn myself around? Where did I learn that? Is that necessary? Couldn't I have just gone up, 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 up to reach the goal? Where did I learn this? How has this been playing out through my life? What's this called? Becoming curious about yourself. Only when we reflect on our lives in this kind of a way can we surface the very problems we are born to solve. To do that requires character. Why? Because you have to admit you don't know something. And in a world run by fuckheads who pretend to know shit and get rewarded for their ignorance, and punish people for making a mistake, it takes courage and character to admit, I don't know. And I'm going to find out. Courage, character. To become curious about the puzzle that you are born here to solve. So, sorry, that was just the beginning of your quote. Realization that there is more than just TikTok, video games, and junk food. You look at your broken self in the mirror, and you remember a bizarre dream or some sort of memory that happened, and you're like, yes, there has to be more than just IKEA and Starbucks. Ah, turning point. Turning around. That's Usia. Good for you. All right, so those are the two questions. What's my reason for being? What's my highest excellence? What's my highest states of mind and functioning? So we can have states of mind for Usia and our functioning for Logos. What's that? Why am I here? That's what we can reach and perfect through and gain mastery of through understanding. But you can't reach that unless you also, as you step towards your goal, you have blocks along the way. Your beliefs are the cause of your problems because they function as problems. What's a problem? A block to you reaching your meaningful goals. You will hit your blocks. And you can't remove the problems and your injustice, the way that you treat yourself poorly and unknowingly treat your friends and partners badly, or employees, or whatever. Whether you like it or not, we're not treating them as good as we could. You can't surface your unsuspected false beliefs that cause your problems unless you have a personally meaningful goal, because that's how you surface them. So we have to be doing two. We have to be crushing the Koopa Troopers and trying to save the princess. Can't do one without the other. So it seems. But to do that, from what we've been reading, we have to deal with sameness and difference. Sameness, which are Logos terms. So the Logos gives us the key terms or ideas that we are learning, that we make use of in understanding. That's the Logos. What are some key ideas that are true, universal principles, not physical, but you always apply them to the physical? Everything you've seen is same and different. Same as something, it's a thing. Different, it's a different thing. Sameness and difference. Or what we've been learning is there's a kind of string, because there's a set of logos terms that are pairs that always come together. Everything you've experienced is in some way the same, in some way different, in some way whole, and in some way part. So we have to become curious because, we have to become curious about beliefs themselves. What color? Let's go dirty yellow. Beliefs themselves, but also your specific beliefs. You have to become curious about both. Develop a question about both. You have to be learning about beliefs themselves, the nature of beliefs, how it relates to understanding, how it's the cause of human problems, how it functions through everything we've been learning from the text about beliefs. But also you have to become curious about your own specific unsuspected beliefs to be in the game. Let's catch up with chat. Chatter believes understanding something is very personal. It requires deep level of introspection. Ooh. Truly understanding something is to say that you needn't think about it anymore. You've reached a point where you can just know. It's a second nature. It isn't just a punchline anymore, it carries weight. Okay, so there's lots of ideas. So what we want to do is bring out those ideas and say, okay, look, you've talked about, I believe, understanding. Oh, is there a difference between belief and understanding? If understanding is important, do you want to have beliefs about it? What's the difference? So what are we doing? We're pulling out keywords. What are some keywords? Belief, understanding. It requires deep level of introspection. Oh, introspection. If that's what's required, introspection, is it important to figure out exactly how to do introspection? Is introspection just thinking, I'm pretty good actually. My mum says I'm good and my grandma says I'm handsome. I'm the best. Sound like Donald Trump, right? So if introspection is key, could you be curious about how to do that properly, artfully, in a way that you can benefit and not delude yourself? We're trying to give birth to a question. Truly understanding something is to say you needn't think about it anymore. Oh, interesting. By the way, who told you that? Does that sound like someone? By the way, if you think it, you must have learnt it from someone. Is it true? When you understand something, you don't have to, hey, I understand music. I'm always making new connections in music. People who understand football love to think about it all the time. Hobbies? People have understanding about the hobbies? Do they? Does it hold up under introspection with understanding? By the way, what would happen if somebody said, well, if you really understand it, stop thinking about it? What'd that mean? I understand you're a fascist, Mr. Trump. Well, then shut up about it. Oh, really? I understand you've been lying to me, Pastor Smith. Rabbi Jones, Imam Anderson. Well, if you are so smart, why don't you just shut up? What happens? So what's the implications of your belief that you don't have to think about that which you understand? Why are we pushing the implications? Because while you can become curious about a high idea, like what's introspection? No, it's not about being bad. It's about finding a puzzle. What we've been writing on the board. There are two kinds of puzzles that you are looking for. Puzzles about your beliefs and puzzles about your understanding. And both has a whole and part. Can you become curious about the whole or the sameness and the parts or the difference? Same or different? Bit messy. Can you become curious? This makes it a personally meaningful goal. To have a question is to be on a quest. We want to have a question that we carry and nurture to the point we can't think of anything else. That, my friend, is formally meditation. Focused attention with openness and curiosity on a puzzle you've yet to solve, but is so meaningful to you that you really, really want to solve it. That's called being pregnant with a question. That's human development from the book. If truth was enough, then we would all be living in a utopia, because Socrates told us all this 2,000 years ago. No one fucking listened. We killed him instead. It's truth and humanness. You could be talking to the greatest understander in the world, but that won't affect you. There is a higher level of understanding where you encourage questions and curiosity, because someone has to want to change, want to learn, want to read. Not just want to read, but want to go through the effort, the trials, the ups and downs, the pain sometimes, not suffering, but the pain that's required to go through to become your higher self, the hero's journey. So we have a question about understanding itself. What is understanding? What are its parts, key terms? What are its activities? Or structure? How do we use them to benefit? Because what we've been discovering is one of the activities of understanding is I hope that's not too loud. Dialectic.
Slay the puss.
Hey, Emma, don't say slay the puss. That's not appropriate. Calm down. Dialectic. Dialectic is the activity that makes use of the key ideas or logos in the activity of self-reflection on ideas. Yeah, I know. That's Emma from the Majority Report. She's usually quite doing very good work, but sometimes she wants us to slay the puss and makes her a bit of a gooner.
Goon.
The dialectic. Also, let's throw an analogy. Why? Because what we're seeing here is the two activities that we have, the two sorts of ways humans can function, belief or understanding, one's lesser and one's greater. That's an analogy. As belief functions through projection and interpretation, so understanding functions through critical thinking or the dialectic. So the lesser and greater. So we can have a set of terms. Belief is to understanding, as to interpretation is to actually reading, is to debate for belief, dialectic for see. We can have a huge list and compare the lesser and greater. That would be collecting the key terms in a structure or an activity called analogy, dialectic and analogy. But of course, let's not use that color. Let's go lesser. Oh, not that color either. I think colors. Someone should invent more colors. Lesser. No, we just did that one. This one? That'll be fine. Lesser. Put it in a box, maybe. Oh, I've got a box. Lesser and greater. So, the dialectic would be the whole of understanding. The model. In other words, you can have a dialectic structure of exploring beauty or justice or truth, a set of questions. You can then judge the answer of the person you're talking to, that you can follow every single time, because that's truth. It's universal. Beauty will always be what it is. Truth will always be what it is. So therefore, the dialectics we can remember and practice. That would be the same. I'm running out of space. Let's move over a little bit. Understanding. But the use of dialectic, as we are doing with our friend, to encourage curiosity about beliefs and a specific belief, and understanding and a specific idea like introspection. Hey, in what he shared, he was doing very well in pointing to introspection as a necessary tool for the development of understanding. It's key for him. So we can ask him questions. Hey, if it's so key, is there a way you can learn it? Are there people that you've met who've done introspection poorly and just love the smell of their own garbage? Is there a mastery of introspection? If you learn introspection in the highest level and it benefits you so greatly, could you turn around and share it with others? To be able to do that, would that be a sign that you have developed a level of mastery? A specific idea that you can reach through understanding, like introspection. So what are we doing? We're encouraging a question about understanding and a specific one relevant to him. That's the dialectic as a whole, tailored to the specific person. That's called philosophical midwifery. Why? Because he is becoming pregnant with a question, and that's learning. That's human development. That's the spiritual art. Because when we are curious about this kind of higher question, and we have sustained focus on that, sustained concentration is meditation. And as we are curious about ideas that exist eternally, not in the physical world of beliefs and appearances, but eternally in the realm of principles or being or ousia or mind, you can potentially have a direct experience in a peak state of mind. So that's the development of the Y button. And I will catch up with your chat in a second. I know I get behind in the chat, but we need to finish the idea. So while we're talking about the functioning, the key terms, or logos being our functioning, having key terms, we have states of mind that can lead to peak states of mind. Peak states of mind where you directly experience the idea that you've become curious about and you are learning to reflect on in this true way, not a matter of interpretation, not make them up bullshit, but actually understanding the idea because you actually care. Those peak states of mind or peak experiences can also be called enlightenment experiences. Why? Because they are aspects of the pure luminosity of mind itself. Peak experiences of mind itself. So the non-personal, the transpersonal, where we all share the same consciousness, that kind of idea. So that's on the horizon for our friend should he become curious about those sorts of ideas and have the courage and character to stay in it as he faces the ups and downs of his drama until he has sufficiently understood it and has to think about it no longer. Oh, hang on a second. His idea that he shared earlier, that once you understand something sufficiently, you no longer have to think about it, does have an application. Not to those higher ideas of understanding that you can always make new connections about. You can always find something new, a new analogy, a new connection, a new significance. But the false ideas, the ones that block us, the false ideas of self and reality that function to block our understanding. Once we have understood them sufficiently, we are free. We've crushed the turtles. We've done the A part of the game. Oh. So that's an example of something that is both true and not true. What an interesting thing to say. Let me catch up in the chat. How do you know what you truly believe? Is it what you say? Is it what you do? That's the question that we're on right now. You're a couple of steps ahead. That's where we're at. So we're going to get to in a second. How do we find out what we believe if it's unsuspected? It's well and good to say that, all human problems, all human injustice, from the most horrific sadistic acts to small problems, all have at this root cause false belief. But how do we find out ours? How do we get rid of them? How do we perfect ourselves? High level of understanding, introspection, examining past experiences and learning from them without ego getting in the way. Interesting. How is there a structure in self-reflection or reflection on past experiences? Because lots of people say that, don't they? Talk to most ignorant racists. Hey, it's just common sense. Just think about it, bro. They're reflecting on their past experiences in a way that justifies their bullshit racist beliefs. So maybe there is actually a skill we have to learn. Otherwise, we end up projecting our beliefs with no way of finding out our blind spots. They're your blind spots. If you're projecting them, you don't know you're projecting them. You're projecting your racist bullshit. You think that's reality. And then you vote conservative. So there has to be a way of surfacing our own specific false beliefs that we can't see and block us. Beliefs don't have to be rational. No, they're not. They're false. But there is an inherent rationality as to why we believe them. Yes. Prejudices, or to be ruled by belief, the word from the text is prejudice. to think that belief has something to do with truth or knowing or expertise. The whole premise behind capitalism, conservatism, and religion, I believe it, so I get to rule people, or people have to give a shit about my stupid beliefs and opinions because I'm a billionaire, because I'm a politician, because I wear a funny robe and a funny hat. They oppose reason. Is what we've been. By the way, you can find the PDF to the book, and you can find out why we have come to the conclusion that belief shifts the goalpost in terms of evidence. Hey, ever heard of Christians saying the world's going to end? They've been doing it since Jesus' time. The whole resurrection story of Jesus was something they made up decades after the event, after Jesus' death, because the prediction that the world was going to end didn't come true. And instead of realizing, oh fuck, I must have false beliefs, they moved the goalpost. Oh, the rapture's going to come this year. Oh no, this year. Although this year, 2,000 years later, they're still saying it. And also blocks reason. Ever notice that when you talk to a believer, they try and start a fight? Why? Because violence and conflict and competition is the abandonment of reason. You're not rationally reflecting. There's no reason to fucking fight. There's no reason to compete for resources under capitalism, conservatism, and religion. That's fucking stupid. We're all sharing this planet. And we all win from understanding. If I get to share an understanding with you, you get to learn something, and I get to test my understanding of my vision. And likely we're both going to see something. There's no reason to reject understanding. Everyone should be philosophers, lovers, or philodianoia, lovers of understanding. But it's so rare that I don't have many followers on this channel. In fact, we are the most hated of all people because everyone wants to defend their precious beliefs. No one gives a shit about your dumb beliefs unless you're threatening theirs. And you know what threatens all beliefs? Understanding. Because beliefs are stupid and the cause of human injustice and suffering. Understanding is universal, true, necessary for benefit. Always. Not just for humans, for everyone. So yes, so beliefs oppose our reason, but there has to be a rationality for us to hold on to them, for us to maintain our beliefs every day, cycles of problems. It's that inherent rationality within beliefs that allows us to figure out why we believe them in the first place and solve them. What does the dialectic mean? That's a good question. Hold on to that question. I have met those people who love their own garbage introspection. I meet them when I look in the mirror. Oh. So, hey, maybe this dialectic can help in your self-reflection. To learn not to pass judgments based on a few experiences. I have to, the self-control not to fall in the category of the other one just yet. Interesting. So, I mean, isn't judging thinking? How about judge well rather than not judge? I don't know. Again, it's another thing we can become curious about and carry as a question as we continue to read and reflect. That's the game. Philosophy is like being Sherlock Holmes. We have Mario with his Mario hat, but we also put on our Sherlock Holmes hat. We look for puzzles and we carry them, and we read these books to find answers. So we have to develop questions with our Sherlock Holmes hat on, nurture those questions. That's called being pregnant. That's also meditation, because sustained focus on a question that you care about. We can develop these questions and seek the answers about understanding in the books we read. We read Logos books. We don't read any old philosophers. We read philosophers who communicate the Logos. So Logos books. Socrates, Pierre Grimes, and Homer are pretty much the three Logos books. Like the one we're reading now. We've learned a lot about understanding from this book. But also, there are many ideas within the book that we can become curious about. Education, spirituality, reincarnation, our purpose in life. Why are we here and why now? But also, we're learning about beliefs themselves. From the books. Logos books. To pass judgment, in my view, in this context would be to come to a final conclusion, and I'd be to postpone such. Right. So to judge poorly, we might say. Because a lot of believers say, hey, don't judge me. I'm just doing Nazi stuff. Or I just like to do a little bit of genocide because we're Jews. Or Zionist Jews. We like to do a little bit of crusades because we're Catholics. We like to oppress women a little bit because we're Mormons. Don't judge me. But right, I recognize the way you're using that word. Uninformed judgments or judgments that close your mind off from continued reflection. I get you. In fact, we could even recognize that these books that we are reading themselves use their Logos books, so therefore they must be using key ideas and terms in the activities and structure of dialectic and analogy. Wow, that's why we read them. If so, they could reflect an analogy. Well, for each of these ideas, in principle, we could say Harry as a analogy from the book. Harry personifies, is a metaphor for beliefs themselves. Everything Harry has done in the conversation. Let's move Logos books to the middle, eh? It's getting a bit messy. We've got question about understanding going here. And question about beliefs. Harry's personifying beliefs. Well, we can develop a question about beliefs. Why is Harry such a dick in the conversation? Why is he such a dick in his relationship to Aaliyah? Why has Aaliyah told him she doesn't like to be called weird, but he keeps doing it? Why is Harry fighting an argument that he doesn't even really believe in? Why is he going down with the ship? There are so many ways of becoming curious about beliefs themselves by becoming curious about Harry. That's why these books are so good. That's why it's so important to create, or as we said to our friend in chat, turn around and share as we perfect our understanding, to learn the activity of the dialectic and analogy, and to learn those key ideas or key terms of the Logos. As we perfect our functioning, leading to our own higher states of mind and even peak experiences of mind itself, we can use that vision and that skill to create our own texts, movies, animes, content that can benefit others. We benefit someone else and we perfect our skill and functioning. It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
In the chat, I would never fight you. What? What are you, a pussy? Emma?
Come on, dude. That's too vulgar.
Okay, sorry. I shouldn't have called you a pussy. I was too vulgar. I'd only challenge your beliefs. Ooh, that sounds good. We're saying let's make sure we can do it in a tactful way, which is a kind of the hidden virtue of charm. How do we keep our head on our shoulders? How do we be listened to? I've just been complaining about how little viewers I get, but there are a couple of other content creators who are lovers of understanding and reason very well and have a good head and good heart, who have like 60 to 100,000 people watching their VODs and thousands watching them live. So, you know, that could be your specific. As you learn understanding, what's your specific way of communicating it? Are you funny? Are you beautiful? Are you both? So, you are my opponent, not my enemy. Well, in the dialectic, we're friends. It's the friendly art. You walk step by step. One person asks the questions, the other person gives the answers, and you walk step by step to conclusions together, and then you build on those conclusions. Push the implications to the next step. Push the implications to the next step. Oh, that looks like our model that we talked about of how we reach our goals. And because at every stage you are awakening a higher state of mind and self-reflection, we have a kind of ousia that evolves upwards through the dialectic. That movement through reason or the logos in an upward way, that's called anagogic. That's the kind of movement we want. I pursue God because there might be some sort of wisdom, says our chatter, in his words. Which God? Zeus? By the way, the god used to personify this upward movement through the dialectic to our highest goals is Hermes. Oh, are all gods just analogies? Only the use of analogy is only open to people who are lovers of understanding. People who love beliefs take their stupid ass fairy tales literally. Zeus was a real dude who had a beard and banged women as a cow or something. That's fucking stupid. That's for babies. Why? Because beliefs don't deal with analogy. They take everything literally. Oh, if it was written on a scroll that I found under a rock, then it's true forever, for always. Until it's not. By the way, the life of believers are to justify their beliefs that they inherit. How can people be Christians when the Bible is full of crazy fucking horseshit? Nonsense. Noah's Ark? How could that possibly be? You can rape your daughters? That's fucking stupid. You can kill children and women? What the fuck? That's called hermeneutics. The life of believers is to take the beliefs that they inherited from other people in the past and try and save them by uniting them with their own personal beliefs through some kind of story. That's the false kind of storytelling to save beliefs. The kind of storytelling that we are talking about that uses the dialectic structure, the logos terms, and analogy to create a story, that's called myth. Mythology is an analogy of universal principles that people can use to benefit their soul. That's also theology. The difference between mythology and theology is make some of them gods. I'm not going to go on a crusade. Ah, good. So, speaking of that good kind of analogy, we have an example. If we made these characters gods, we could start a religion. Of course, that's stupid because religion means to be bound by belief. That's why it only does harm. Why are there all these billionaire, trillionaire clergy members solving world hunger? Oh, because belief does harm. I take those texts question what they actually mean. What do they actually mean? What are they trying to say in that context? Is it literal, supernatural, metaphorical? Oh, good. Good. So, as we are doing to this text, hey, there are 4 kinds of questions we have to develop. About beliefs and our specific beliefs, or beliefs themselves, and what are our own false beliefs that are the cause of our problems or injustice. Crusading against our own selves. And understanding itself, well, that seems to be demonstrated by our friend Joseph in the book. But also, we have to become curious about a specific idea. Who in the book has been asking questions with a repeating theme? A specific question. Aaliyah. Why are we here? Right now. And don't give me a bullshit answer that I'll know when I'm dead like I get from religious idiots. A real answer. And it has to make sense of this very conversation we're having. Why am I here and why right now? In this time, in this cafe, in this conversation. What's the point of this? Do you have that question? There's another question about reincarnation. Where do we go after we die? And what's the significance of what we do in the meantime? So we can personify this specific idea that lights our spark, that floats our boat, with Aaliyah. Has any question jumped out at you today or in our reading of the book? That's for you to decide. Yeah, it's a question that sticks to your soul. Now, these questions have to be universally true. We don't want some Harry's dumbass opinions, or crazy Aunt Betty's dumbass opinions, or crackhead Pete's crazy dumbass opinions. No one cares about opinions unless you're, stuck under a tyrant. Conservatism, capitalism, religion, and our Shh, don't tell anyone that because people really love their parents. That's only for very intelligent and very mature people that we can share that insight with. Let's keep going. So hey, what does analogy do? It can help us find answers, but also can help us surface questions. We have a question here. If we've understood, as we are here in this kind of video game we call being a human being, we have the X and Y button, Usia and logos. That's handy, just 2 to think about. And we make use of it to reach our highest Usia, peak experiences, states of mind, personal development, spirituality, evolution. Through the functioning of the logos, these activities that make use of pressing X and Y button together as you do analogy as you do the dialectic. So there's our activity. And we have 2 applications to purify our false beliefs and perfect our understanding. Crush them turts perchance, as Mario crushes the turtles, and kiss the princess. Sexy times.
They're secretly turned on by it.
Yeah, you're secretly turned on by it because you're all a bunch of gooners.
Be a reasonable gooner.
But we're being reasonable gooners by learning about this. Okay, so so there's our 2 purposes of all human beings. So we can call it our purpose or destiny or highest functioning, but it's also called the destiny of man because it's for everyone. Literally, if you're a human being, that's your job. You've got 2 jobs to do, that's it. Therefore, do we need to kill children? Nope. Do we have to impoverish people under capitalism? Nope. We have to enslave them under, again, beliefs. Belief-established hierarchies of oppression to justify them sitting up at the top, vomiting their stupid beliefs on others? Nope. Because we're all in the same game. We're all the same. We literally have the same purpose for being alive. We could even say it's the destiny of all intelligent beings, going beyond the human race itself. Any intelligent being who has evolved to the capacity to X and Y button to self-reflect with language and reason, that's their purpose. Which makes us wonder, hey, if the implication of beliefs is the extinction of our race and the destruction of our planet, because beliefs only ever do harm, because you need to understand something to do good, is humanity worth saving? If we do wake up to the turret crushing and the princess kissing, our purpose as human beings that we have discovered from reading this book, that's why I'm saying it's top 10 book everyone should read, then we can ask a question, hey, maybe in what we had to go through to get to where we were as a human species, this we can turn around and share with others. That's been a theme. It's been a theme of today, so I'll write it on the board. Zoom in a bit. What it took for me to get to where I am can I turn around and share with others? Is the question. Now we can see in this sentence some key ideas. What it took for me, is that the logos and dialectic? Turn around, is that ousia? In other words, as someone taught me, as this book taught us, as this book and the author taught us, as the author or book taught us, so too, running out of space. Whoops. As the book or author taught us, so too can we teach others. the chat, forget all the institutions. People tell themselves all sorts of rubbish to get through the day and swear allegiances wholeheartedly. Yes, they do. I find it hard to hoodwink myself. It's why I'm here, dancing with you. Yes. You are a rare bean. There are a few beans in chat. I think I've been streaming for a couple of years now. Don't get a lot of beans coming this way. Our very pursuit of truth is in itself our purpose. Question mark. Notice. Key words. Truth. Purpose. Framed as a question. That's the game. Good question. Hold on to it. As you carry it, you might be able to develop it. Add more ideas to it. Polish it up. Hone it like a laser beam. Not very warm. I got a new coffee warmer. It was good last time. Anyway. So, by the way, can we represent this even simpler? As the book or author taught us, let's use math. Let's use a bit of calculus. Let's call the book or author A. Now for teaching, let's just use a couple of dots to represent a relationship. And us will be B. So too. What's a different kind of... This teaching is the relationship, isn't it? The way that A relates to B. Teaching. So too is a similar relationship. So we'll use double dots. Can we, or that's B again, teach? Oh, that's that same thing. Others. So we need a new term. We'll call them C. Notice, sameness and differences. There is a sameness in the relationship. Teaching. There are some differences. You are going to be teaching in a slightly different way. But notice, it's this question this theme for today takes the extreme term. Hey, you might talk to someone who's never met the author or who's never read this book. So this extreme term can be linked with this extreme term, the wisdom of an enlightened guru and master of philosophy, the author of this book, through you being a mean term. Linking the two extremes together in a beautiful kind of a way. What an interesting way of functioning. Dearest friend, I have to run. It's quite late here. I thoroughly enjoyed our venture. I will be back soon. You're welcome to join the Discord if you want. And of course, you can follow on Twitch and stop in anytime. You get a notification when we go live on the Discord. And you can talk to people and share art and ideas and things on the Discord. If you want to. There's a link below. So, it took for me to get where I am. Can I turn around and help others? Good thing the author of this book has asked that question, giving us something to read to maybe awaken ourselves to our highest purpose and give us the material to reach there. All right, so two goals, two aspects of two capacities we have, Logos and Usia. Two goals. Remove our beliefs, perfect our understanding. two necessary aspects or kinds of questions of each: the whole and the parts, the sameness and the difference, beliefs themselves and our specific. What's my false belief about self and reality? Understanding. What is understanding and wisdom and enlightenment? All this stuff we're talking about. Usia. And what specific idea can help me grab onto a question? What do I really want to know about? Where I go when I die? Reincarnation? Why I'm here right now? Beauty? Are you interested in beauty? Justice? Are you a tank for justice? Do you fight for justice? In chat, I already follow you on Twitch. Oh, all right. If that's the case, we say to you
I'm just thinking about being hot.
that we're just thinking about that you're being hot.
They're like a goon. They're a gooner.
And people who say that are a gooner. I followed you long ago and I started to check you out when I saw you live. Oh, great. All right.
That's funny.
That's a bit funny. I'll join your Discord. See you. May wisdom guide us. May it. It better. May it better.
I guess, but UFOs might be Jesus.
Something to think about. Maybe UFOs might be Jesus. I don't know why R.M. Brown says that all the time, but he does. He said it on today's episode again as well. I need to go over. Anyway. Like 3 episodes. Those last 3 episodes were bangers and were really good. And I need to go through them to get some more drops. He talked about UFOs being Jesus this morning as well. Listening to it at the gym. Peace be with me. Hope it don't cause you any problems. What kind of problems?
Bitch.
It caused me problems.
Well, that's not true because I don't think so.
I don't.
Drop the attitude, man.
We shall all drop the attitude, man. So, hey, we can learn about beliefs themselves from Harry in the book and the other books that we read. We can learn about understanding. Of course, they are analogical reflections of each other. The lesser is to greater, so you can't really be learning about one without learning about the other. And we can even find from the books that we read specific ideas that we can apply the dialectic to narrow them down and now kind of, an understanding. Meditation. Oh, we're missing one. What book do we read that will give us the specific content for us to see what we are specifically blocked from seeing? From us to surface what will always remain under the surface. For us to address what specifically functions to cause us to angrily fight against anything that shall address it. It's the cause of all problems. We've been reading in the text. It's a more powerful force than even our enlightenment peak states of mind. Enlightenment doesn't burn your karma. In fact, if you've ever met any of these geezers, call them geezers because not goobers, these geezers who have reached enlightenment experiences and call themselves guru this and guru that within Eastern traditions, they've got their problems even worse a lot of the time. They've become mega weirdos. Ultra gooners.
Damn, you really are a gooner.
They really are gooners. Says Aaliyah in the book. And maybe you can verify that in your own experience. The issue with human problems is we are humans. Human problems block us from understanding. The only way of solving problems is Is it belief? No, that's the problem. Well, it must be understanding. The very thing we need to do, we are specifically blocked from. That's the nature of human problems. That's the catch-22. That's why we're not living in a utopia. We're still living under belief-based stupidity and injustice. What book can we read that knows all about you? Knows all about your problems? Not just your problems in this life, probably your whole soul's development through multiple reincarnations. Knows everything, knows the origin scene of your own specific beliefs. And how it reflects your multiple reincarnations, perchance. What kind of book writes like that? Knows how your problem has played out all through your past, is currently playing out in your present, and will tie you to a kind of future. Fate. And can communicate the specifics you need to see, but not communicate them in a way where you can just believe them. That's the very problem. That's not going to solve the problem. Communicate them in a way where you can apply yourself to understand them. One step removed. Oh, what's that called? Analogy. All right, so not giving you literal answers, but enough analogies. So long as you apply yourself to use analogy to these texts, can figure out what you need to figure out to remove the blocks that prevent you from doing these other three things. Learning about beliefs, or nurturing your question about beliefs, about understanding and your specific idea of understanding. Who writes that book? Because it's necessary. You won't be able to do any of these other three things without finding your specific beliefs that function to block those other three things. We're fucked. We're stuck. We're in a catch-22 without answering this question. That's how important it is. You could be studying for your whole life in a philosophy academy, or in a ashram, or multiple reincarnations studying and meditating and strength training like in Dragon Ball Z. It ain't gonna mean shit if you are not addressing the thing that's more powerful than enlightenment, is the greatest, therefore, force in the universe for living beings. That sole job is to stop you from doing those things. That's the importance of this question. And if you've been following along with the series, you may already be aware of the importance. And hopefully this brief summary of where we're at within our reading, but understanding human species itself and our purpose, the meaning of life, all life, overall time, all galaxies, all multiverses and dimensions. Adjusting my seat a little bit. Hopefully this has highlighted the significance a little bit more. Without addressing this question, we can't do the other things. Meaning, our fate is the destruction of our planet, the extinction of our species at the hands of these believers who are using its or relative to claim expertise. Conservatives, capitalists, and clergy. The new KKK. And lives of suffering under their tyranny until that happens. That's our fate. That's our future. Or we find a way of answering this question. we've been learning to read. We've been learning what's involved in understanding or reading, from the book and our reflection on the book. But what the heck kind of logos book can we read that gives us the specific details about our specific beliefs? Drum roll, please.
I'm eating the testicles of this bull,
No.
and I'm eating it raw. Raw bull
goodness.
balls. This is raw buffalo balls.
I fail to see the significance of eating the buffalo balls right now. I meant to press the drum roll button, but I just remembered that I replaced it with that sound drop.
Bull testicles. Bull testicles.
Yes, they are bull testicles. Emma?
I'm a comedian too.
All right, okay. Well, Emma thinks it's funny, so it's okay. This one, instead of a drum roll. Dreams. So the theme, so you can speak about themes, the overall theme running through all of these, this whole series has been everything we learn. What? Coffee mug wouldn't heat. Now it's heating. Everything we've been learning about reading these books can we apply it to the dreams that we have the next night? Or if you've been recording them, apply it to your review of the dream that you had previous night. Either way, your dream's going to be working with you. That's its job. That's how it functions. To help. It's almost as if, as the book or author taught us, as the author took what it took for him to get to where he was and turn around and share it with us through the analogy, dialectic, and key logos terms of these books. So long as we apply those same things to meet him where, or to raise our mind to the functioning of his mind, we can raise our mind to meet his mind and benefit. Can we ask a similar question about the dream maker? What is it about the dream maker that is able to communicate everything not only will it give you the specific, so the most, we talked about last time the categories of dreams. We use the dialectic to say, we'll zoom in a bit. Definition, demonstration, division, and conclusion, once again, or future, past, present. All right, we'll keep it normal. The most common dream is about your pathologos. Pathologos or problem dream. I like to think of it as past. It's your problem that you carry from your past and through your past. Why? Human problems are your past being projected onto the present that will cause a negative kind of future. That's what problems are. You're carrying your past with you and you're interpreting, because it's all relative, isn't it? Pass on to the present that keeps you trapped in a fated future. And blocking you from, what's our goal? To perfect the activity of the logos to get our development. Ousia, states of mind. Peak experiences of mind itself, or insights. Pathologos problem from our past that we project onto our present. That's the functioning interpretation. By the way, it's not only the functioning of belief in how it's the cause, how it functions as a problem, it's the life of believers. That's hermeneutics. To go through, to tell stories as, well, Jesus actually said that we don't have to listen to this part of the Bible about slavery, and this part about grape. I'd say grape on YouTube, I guess. This part, because Jesus said this, and because the Holy Spirit is in my heart, and he's telling me that Noah wasn't real, and it's about that kind of crap. Oh, we get to kill the Palestinians because our Jewish Torah says blah, 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 blah. I get to have lots of wives because I found this book that says Jesus was American, actually, says the Mormons. Isn't it interesting that in these texts, the highest idea of God is what that guy wants? God said that I should be in charge, says the Jews. God says that I should be in charge, says the Catholics. God says that I should have all of the wives, says Joseph Smith. And we can make fun because that's how we see the absurdities of what's false. So, the most common dream is our pathologos dream, but there's also reminder dreams. Reminding you something you are doing well in, or encouraging you in, or giving you guidance in that's good in your present. There are kinds of dreams that are professorial. Prophecy dreams. That's normally when I mention to people that I do dream analysis, or I've been doing it for a long time. Usually there's always two reactions. The first one, the most common one, is I don't dream, which is wrong. All right. That's not true, but that's why you can set an alarm. They did a study on this. They took people who said they didn't dream. They had an alarm that went off every 2 hours or 1.5 to 2 hours. That's our REM cycles. And then if you wake up straight after, you can most vividly recall. It's also a hack, like a life hack for remembering your dreams more accurately. If you wake up in the morning, you might remember, there are all of these different scenes, but there might have been like 4 or 5 actually different dreams. The more accurate, the better. But anyway, the second thing people will say is, I had a dream that predicted the future. Or my mum had a dream that predicted the future. Usually them. Coffee's not very good. My protein shake is good though. Hey, insights, what do we call those? Enlightenment dreams. where we have those peak states of mind, or ousia, that differ from where we are at currently in our present. Enlightenment. And that goes all the way up. In fact, the author of this book, at the end of his life, talked about his enlightenment dream. There's even I tried to remember the date. July the 8th, 1958 or 1959. I can't remember that. There'll be time no longer. There's a dream that the author of this book had where he had an enlightenment experience that helped. Turning point for him in a lot of ways. Enlightenment. 10. Enlightenment dreams. Now, we've recognized that this is the structure of the logos, but we've also recognized that, well, more so in our previous, the last book we were reading, Socrates and Jesus, a Dialogue in Heaven. For there to be this logo structure, there has to be a cause, a transcendent cause. So the cause is always superior, prior, and independent. Independent from its effect. The artist is superior to his painting, prior to the painting. Independent from his painting. You ruin the painting, the author is still fine. Cause to even the dialectic. So we can wonder, what would that kind of dream be? In principle and in what would we call it? So nevertheless, we have at least the four that we're working with. So while the most common is this pathologos dream that allows us to match our most significant of all questions for all of human life. How do we become curious about our specific beliefs? Giving us a text we could read. Not only do dreams serve that purpose, it also helps you in any other ones. So hey, maybe your problem is playing out to block your reading, blocking any one of these other three. Hey, maybe it can help you, a reminder dream to help you develop your understanding. Maybe you're going well. Maybe you did something really good in your day today, or you read something really significant and you overlooked it. I came across a reminder dream recently where somebody was doing very well and was surprised that they were functioning at a higher level than they expected in the content that they were making. A reminder dream. Something that you were doing well that you might not have acknowledged of yourself, or something you did in that day that you may have overlooked, that's worth paying attention to in your reading, in your functioning, in your learning. Prophecy dreams. Well, a prophecy dream could help with any one of these four. Tomorrow, this guy is going to come along and he's going to be someone worth speaking to for this. Or your problem will play out here. Or he'll help you understand something about beliefs. You'll come across a midwife of dreams tomorrow. Make sure you listen to them and you offer to buy that man a coffee in exchange for a dream review. See, that could help any one of those four. And finally, inside dreams. Well, these two questions are about purifying our pathologos, the lesser, crushing them turts, perchance. And these are about our higher goals, perfecting our understanding, kissing the princess. These lead to those enlightenment experiences, which are nothing other than your mind knowing itself, or the whole, or the greater. If beliefs are the lesser states of mind of beliefs, the greater is not of the physical world where we get our beliefs, but of the realm of mind or being. So we can call the lesser realm the realm of becoming, because everything's in change, everything's growing or decaying. The realm of being describes that which is eternal. Notice, it's true for everyone. You don't have to kill anyone. You don't have to enslave anyone. Universal principles. So if the standard for rulership is to find the universal principles that pertain to your art or subject, apply them universally to benefit universally, not you as the corrupt leader. I get all the wives, I get all the billions. But the subjects, if the doctor functioned to benefit himself and not his patient, we'd call that malpractice. Lose his license, get put in jail sometimes. Therefore, anyone who wants to rule, again, spirituality or politics or the economy, has to understand the universal principles that can be universally applied for universal benefit pertaining to that art or subject or field. We're in the realm of B. Princess kissing. Smooching that princess. Or whatever anime heroine you want to use as an analogy for who you want to smooch. The universal. It's being. That's our standard. That's the standard. Not just for government, spirituality, and all institutions in society, but all species. So we can ask the same question, not just of the dream maker, whenever it took for me, can I turn around and share that with others? We can ask that for what color? This one. Our species. If we wake up to this simple game, why simple? Got 2 buttons, got 2 activities. Within activities, you got 2 aspects, and you got a guide. Now you can also say you got 2 guides because you do have that voice that maintains your problems. We call the Kaka daemon. So we could say that there's dreams guiding you positively, and our plus our daydreams. So the random distractions, tangents, fantasies, blocks, negative self-talk, the daydreams that keep your problem alive. So again, 2 aspects. The eudaimon, the good spirit of the self, guide of the self, and the Kaka daemon, to use the Greek, the bad one. It's funny that bad says Kaka.
Honestly, I feel really inspired.
Well, it's not that. Okay. All right, that's good.
Everything this guy does is perfect and beautiful. And he's handsome. I said it.
You make a joke about Kaka, and these two go crazy.
Honestly, I feel really inspired.
Okay. So, one inspires us negatively, and one functions. Well, one inspires us positively, and one plays a kind of negative role, but only negative if you have a narrow perspective. How could we go through this process if there wasn't some force maintaining our problem, keeping us trapped in our problems? How could we go through learning how to answer if there wasn't something maintaining the question? So yes, it's the cause of your problems, it's the cause of your blocks, it's the cause of your negative self-image, and all those other words people use. Your anxiety or autism or ego, or whatever you want to call it. Your pathologos, your problem. That's what the real word is. But along with our dreams and these texts we reread together, it serves an important purpose on a higher level. So, I'll put that in brackets because we're not going into any... Well, yeah, in the text, there's something keeping Harry being a dick. The whole text, every conversation with Joseph and Aaliyah and the waiter. What's that? It's not his problem. He said, I've been defending, I'm going down with the ship, and I don't think it's my ship. Reminds me of my conversation with my dad. Starting to wake up. Maybe you can do the sequel. So. Right. The 4 kinds of questions, the specific and general, specific beliefs and beliefs themselves, your specific idea and the understanding itself. Harry... beliefs, Joseph, understanding, Aaliyah, her representing the giving birth to specific ideas, and dreams as the necessary missing element to find your specific beliefs. So that's the work. So we can see why we read these books. We don't get as many viewers as we would if we were, I don't know, playing video games on Twitch. But it's our reading that allows us to do 3/4 of the work. Dreams fills in that last the most important missing quarter, and helps you with those other ones as well, of course. Great, so we've been learning to read, and we've been doing those 3, but how specifically do we... If this is so key, if this is crucial, preventing spiritual gurus from actually removing their problems, keeping human beings in its cycles of injustice and problems for so long. How exactly do we pull that stunt off? How do we look at our dreams? Well, then we discovered, hang on a second, we can use everything we've been learning about the dialectic and analogy to do a dialectic on analogy. What are we after? What's the significance? Pregnancy of a question. So, last ep, we took all of that and said, hey, we have to find a question to open up our dreams. We can do a dialectic on analogy. Why? Because as the dream maker creates dreams, We benefit from we benefit from dreams so long as we follow the same tools and process he is going through, or it is going through. So what's the aspects and activity that the dream maker does to dreams that we can do to dreams to meet in that middle in dream analysis? So find a question that'll get you curious, that'll get you puzzled, and it will help you orient yourself and where to jump in the dream. What is good at surfacing puzzles and problems? Analogy. Oh, good thing that the whole dream is an analogy. It's a myth. A most personally significant myth. So, definition, self or same to same. What does same to same mean? Metaphor. Can you find a puzzle about a metaphor in the dream? The objects, the furniture, they represent something. Now you can't look at a dream book from Etsy or a dream meaning page from BuzzFeed. Why? Because the specific metaphors will have a personal significance to you. That's why we talked about dreams being so important for surfacing your own specific problems. Which means you need a dream analysis midwife, someone to ask you a question. Oh, what does elephants mean to you? Why? Because if it's a key object or furniture or key metaphor in the dream, you'll struggle. I don't know. The art of the midwife is not only to know these questions, the sameness, but to say them differently. Ask the same question in a different way. I know what elephants mean. They mean boredom. Notice, you don't say what is, you say what isn't. As we learn about the self by addressing our problems, what if the self isn't? Why? Because you want them to put the words on it. Clearly an elephant isn't boring. Well, okay, maybe it isn't clear. It's very big. Speaking of boring, yawning. No, that's not. That's just I've been working very hard lately. Very busy. So, same questions asked differently. I don't know what does the elephant mean? No, it's not boring. I guess it's what is it? I guess. Well, hey, same question asked differently. Oh, what do you think about when you think of elephants, or what do they represent to you, or any elephants play a role in your past? Oh, I guess elephants are kind of interesting. What kind of interesting? Interesting as in sexy? And then they say it's important for you not to give them the words. So if you know it's not sexy, then you mean interesting as in sexy? No, not sexy. I mean interesting as in intelligent. Oh, interesting. Intelligent, you say. So asking the same questions in different ways. Why? Because that's the giving birth aspect of the human game. So it's important for us to turn around and share what we've learned, because people need a dream analysis midwife to ask them the questions, to go through the pains of giving birth, even in the smaller scale, giving birth to words about what an elephant means. So metaphors. The elephant means something same to same. Simile, states of mind. Any states of mind that are curious, that stand out as significant, or weird, or interesting, or highlighted, repeated as a theme in the dream, contrasted in the dream. The other kind of analogy. So sameness and difference, or sameness and otherness, likeness. states of mind, how that functions within different divisions of the dream itself, allegory, how it's presented within the structure of the dream itself, allegory, anything in the story, any role you played within the dream, any idea repeated in the structure of the dream or stood out as not fitting or unusual, anything within the story or drama or role, allegory. And finally, other back to self, conclusion. Anything about your goals in the dream that are curious, your choice of goal, how you reach the goal, whether it was a success or failure. That can open you up. Now, we went one step further and said, hang on a second. While these are the headings, the sorts of questions also fall within the dialectic. So within metaphor, definition, demonstration, division, and conclusion. The idea itself, is there a key idea, significant idea, object, person, piece of furniture as a metaphor in the dream? Its aspects, is there a certain quality, is there a curious quality or aspect being shown or highlighted in the dream? Or this was an elephant in this scene, but then in this scene, the elephant was wearing a king's crown. Divisions, is there contrast in the objects? The elephant was dead, or it was an elephant here, but it was a mouse here. Or division also relates to functioning within the allegory or drama. Was there an interesting role that the elephant was playing? Or the role seeing, speaking, and acting? Was it seeing well? Did it say something strange? Was it doing something strange? And finally, is there a metaphor in the goal itself? What does this goal mean to you metaphorically? You won the Mario Party, or you won the Holy Grail at the end of Indiana Jones. What does Holy Grail mean to you? See how that metaphor of the Holy Grail in either the success or failure is likely to have some significance to someone? Very belief-based or religious idea. And we did the same for the others as well, didn't we? Demonstration, the state of mind. Hey, definition. Is there a key state of mind itself? A high state of mind or a low state of mind? That map that we talked about earlier today. In the mapping of the positive and negative, was there a high state or a low state that stood out as curious to you or significant in the dream? So this was the insight I had last time, because someone reminded me of it wasn't whether or not they were in a high state or low state, it was the quality of their state of mind. Someone was doing a just thing with certain qualities. Keeping their cool, developing wisdom and understanding, communicating, so seeing well, being able to communicate that well as well, and acting on what they were in a courageous way, but also a charming way, an entertaining way, a funny way, an inspiring way. The qualities of the state of mind was significant in that person. That reminded me, hang on a second, that's the slight variation we made last episode. There are aspects which are to do with the virtues. Courage, keeping your cool, wisdom to be ruled by the logos, doing at all times justice, and charm, the mysterious fifth virtue. Charm or grace, good humor. So, the state definition, its aspects or demonstrations. Division. How were you seeing, thinking, speaking, or acting from that state of mind? What was your role from that state of mind? And finally, conclusion. How does that role from that role you played, from that state of mind, did it reach your goal? And how does that goal reflect your state of mind? After all, didn't we just say our purpose is to press the X button to get better at the Y button? Our goal is to get higher states of mind. That's Usia. Our spiritual development is the anagogic Usia. Greater states of mind, peak states. Therefore, in your dream, how does your goal relate to that state of mind? So all we're doing is taking the dialectic, defining the kinds of analogies, metaphor, simile, allegory, and the kind of goal. Why is an analogy a goal? Because the kinds of goals are the one that we talked about earlier, turning around and sharing what it took for you to get there with others. That's this analogy, the mean analogy. A is to B as B is to C, or even simplified one step further. A is to B is to C, because B's double. Or it's lesser variation. It's lesser distortion of A is to B as A is to B, the stagnant, redundant analogy. So not what it took for me to get where I am, can I turn around and share it to others, is our question for today. But the question for this one would be, how can I do unto others what the injustice that was done unto me? What was done unto me? What was done unto me with impunity, and get away with it. For some people, it's having kids. For some people, it's becoming a billionaire Nazi. For some people, it's becoming a conservative Nazi. Some people, it's becoming a religious figure, authority, with impunity. Some people call this Peter's principle. Peter's principle is, you do well in a job, you get a promotion. Do well, you get promoted. Do well, you get promoted. You suck at this job, you don't get promoted. You stay stuck in the job you're least suited for. Ever wondered why the absolute worst people become politicians, religious authority figures, billionaires, trillionaires? Because we allow belief. And people will therefore rise to the position they're least suited to. Or they find themselves in an opportunity to do unto others what's done to them with impunity. Do any of these people follow the law? Fuck no. With impunity. We try to give a cop a parking ticket, or pull a cop up for lying or speeding or abusing someone. Good luck. Or a conservative, or the head of the religion, or a trillionaire, do they obey any of the laws? So that's the life of everyone who is not asking this other question. How can we master these 4 questions and then turn around and pass it on to others? Like the author of the book, and maybe even like our Dreammaker. They're asking, how do we keep the cycle of injustice to continue? The injustice axiom or principle behind the lives of those who have not yet woken up to Logos? And these 4 questions. So therefore, your dream is either representing one or the other. A failure to reach the good goal, or maybe the goal was bad to begin with, a success in reaching the bad goal, or success in reaching the good. So you can even see your goals as these 2 archetypes of analogy. And we took those 4 analogies and we expanded them out to find populate a set of 16 kinds of questions that can open up your curiosity about your dream, or as the dream analysis midwife, dialectician, begin your, help. You can ask them any one of these questions because maybe it sticks out to you, or you think it may stick out for them. Get the ball rolling. So, same principle, definition, what's the thing itself, demonstration, what are its aspects, division, how does it function, seeing, hearing, and thinking, or how is it contrasted, and conclusion, how does it relate to the goal? So, we've done a metaphor, it's 4 states of mind, we just did that. Allegory, the dream itself. Is there a section within the dream itself, within the sections of the dream itself? Is there an idea expressed in a specific section? Jump in there. Or the different sections, it's hard to see here and here, but this scene, this middle scene, wow, it's much more simple, much more obvious. Jump in there. Good place to start. Or hang on a second. Is there a development of its aspects? Same idea, sameness, and same itself, the idea expressed most itself. Demonstration, same to other, or same, or self to other, or same to difference. Hey, same idea, different aspects. Do the divisions in the allegory show aspects? Hey, this is the same idea but expressed differently, or even better, or more developed, or some more nuance, or under these conditions. That could be the idea to focus on, and to it could be and contrast it with those different scenes. Division, is there a contrast, an opposing idea? This scene was great. The next scene was terrible. And conclusion. Right, conclusion has 2 aspects, synthesis and analysis. Logos, was there a key logos within the divisions of the dream? Or a key phrase or word? And analysis, how do we take that key idea back to the start? That's ousia. Was there a turning point, a key ousia where everything turned? So was there a key logos or a turning point in the dream? Everything, the drama all turned at this point. Allegory. Wait, no. Analogy of the goal. The definition itself. Is there a puzzle in your choice of goal in the dream? Is that weird? Demonstration, its qualities or aspects. Did you reach it with excellence? Did you sacrifice or less than excellent? Settle. Division. Seeing theory. How did you see your goal? How did you think or value your goal? And did you act accordingly to maintain your goal? Another way of not getting your goal is not maintaining it. In conclusion, synthesis, was it a failure or success? Did you end up in one of those 2 logos? The sick logos, or the sick analogy, or the good one? And finally, analysis. Remember the 2 aspects to conclusion. Did you push the implications? Did you go further? Did you keep going? Did you use your success to continue to go on to turn around in a higher level to know the self? So technically, because there are two kinds of questions in the conclusion, it's not 16, is there? And technically, we should be able to break down the conclusion. We should be able to find a key logos of metaphor and a key logos of simile and a key ousia of. So this model can be improved, specifically in these last two things here. Logos and ousia relating to the goal of metaphor, and the logos and ousia relating to the goal of. I guess the logos would be the role, and the ousia is how does it relate to your state of mind. So that's how we answered the big question that we have to answer. How do we get this question here? So technically 5. So what's 4 times 5? 20 kinds of questions that you can think about or ask to open up the dream. And then, now that we've opened up the dream, how do we reflect on the dream? Same pattern. A dialectic of categories expanded out through the dialectic. And this is just a quick review, so we'll go quickly. Definition. So that's the puzzle. That puzzle you came in with begins the opening definition. Within the dream, within that section or aspect of the dream that you're focusing on, what was your state of mind? Demonstration. Like simile. Division. What role were you playing from that state of mind in the dream? Conclusion. How did it conclude? Success or failure? Now we're looking specifically to answer that question. How do we discover our false beliefs that block us, our specific beliefs? Because we can get these other 3 questions from the book. The big one is, how do we find our specific question about our specific beliefs and answer it? What's the book we have to read? So we're looking for a failure. Therefore, the failure is the logos, and the ousia is we take that back to the start. What was once a puzzle now becomes a problem. That's a different ousia. Before you were reflecting on your dream, that's a kind of self-reflection. That's ousia. Greater than 99% of the population who don't give 2 shits about their dream, crazily, in an insane turn of events, that's where we're at. But to reflect on your dream with a question in your mind is even higher. It's a stage of enlightenment. Now you're reflecting on your dream not just with a puzzle or question, but with a problem, because you have seen there is a problem in your dream. Certain state of mind that why? Because the dream is a movie starring you. It's not starring you. It's starring a character that you think is you so much that you identify with the dream character and you go through the roller coaster of the ups and downs. Therefore, the state of mind is something that you can relate to. You don't walk out of that movie like you might walk out of a Tom Cruise movie. So now you've got a problem. You've seen something about your problem. Your dream has told you something about your specific false belief you're here to address. That question we're after. That's causing your blocks or problems. So now you have a new level of self-reflection about what's most meaningful, your block, your problem. That problem becomes the next stage of dream analysis. The definition is the problem. How does it demonstrate itself in your present? Why now? That's Aaliyah's question in the book. Why are we alive right now? Why here right now? Why this dream? And why right now? How is it playing out in your present? See, even that step is a new level of ousia. Not only do I have am I reflecting on my life as a whole by recognizing I've got a problem, I'm reflecting on my present in a new kind of way. I'm not just going with the flow, following the news cycle, or whatever the reporters are telling me to think, in a malaise. I'm looking at my present to see evidence of this problem from my dream. Next stage. Hey, once you've seen it playing out in your present or your recent present, does it have a history? You're not just looking at your present in a new way, you're seeing your life as a whole differently because you're seeing a pattern play out through your past. You're discovering an unsuspected intelligibility that you've been playing out as an unwitting actor, unsuspectingly. In other words, you've been an NPC to a programming of the programmers of the game, but now you are waking up to it. Waking up, enlightenment. Awakening philosophy. That's the name of the channel.
Now we're getting into extreme Jordan Peterson levels of whimsy.
Levels of whimsy,
Honestly,
aren't
I feel really inspired.
we? Oh, that's good. So, excuse me. From the division, what's the conclusion? Is there a key logos that we then, that's the synthesis, apply Usia back? So what's the key division in your past? The origin scene. There must have been an origin to that problem playing out in your past, through your past. That's the origin scene where you learnt it. Now, as the Oracle tells us,
People don't logic their way into stupid positions. They stupid their way into stupid positions.
because it's a stupid position, it wasn't an actual teaching. It must have been an imitation via belief, like Harry is demonstrating. So all our reading is coming into play here. Oh, heck. Good thing we've done all that work on difference between beliefs and understanding, because now we can recognize this isn't an understanding-based teaching.
The problem is that you can't reason someone out of a position that they didn't reason themselves
into. You can't reason yourself out of your problems because you didn't reason yourself into them. It's this origin scene that you can only discover through dream analysis, that you can only learn how to use if you've been learning to read these books in this way. Because everything we've been learning about reading, we then apply to our dreams. You can't reason yourself out of your problems. You can't medicate yourself out of your problems. You can't positive belief yourself out of your problems. You can't reason yourself out of your
The
problems.
problem is that you can't reason someone out of a position that they didn't reason themselves into.
The Oracle says that, and you mustn't disagree with the Oracle. Otherwise, she will say,
Fucking bitch, pussy ass fucker.
and that's really scary. You don't want her to say that to you.
You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now.
And Emma will join in. Hey, welcome, Link. It's hard to catch you stream with me working for my dad now. Working for your dad. How you doing? You can see how I'm doing. I'm talking about dreams, curious and wondering and seeing the significance of dreams while turning around to pass on to others what I had to go through to reach this level of understanding and seeing myself, which is the name of the game for all human beings, the meaning of life. I don't tell people the meaning of life, they have to discover it on their own. And this is how you discover it. And it's how you solve your problems.
People don't logic their way into positions. They stupid their way into.
And we've found how we stupided our way into our problems. But
You're not gonna magically force someone to want to get better.
You have to come to that conclusion yourself. You have to want to get better.
you have to want to get better. Isn't all relative. Meaning of life for me could be beer. No, it's not. That's your problem or block that prevents you from discovering meaning. But again, you have to become curious about wanting to learn. If you think you've got the answers, then you're prejudiced. You have to recognize you don't know the meaning of life and you're here to figure that out, then you can employ the techniques of thinking, understanding, and importantly, dream analysis to do that. And so, I recommend going to the beginning of this episode on the VOD or on the YouTube page to see it all from the start. And then you might even want to go back to the beginning of the series so it all makes sense. For us to say, oh, this is the meaning of life, it's on the board. Here it is. Drew it in a picture. It's not going to mean much to you unless you've been reading along and discovering the parts along the way. This diagram of, it's, go to a zoom, play a drop.
That's so funny.
It is so funny. Here, this diagram of a gamepad with 2 buttons and Mario crushing a Koopa Trooper and kissing the princess is the meaning of life. But if you haven't been reading along, putting the effort in, playing the game, having some fun with the coolest people in the world, then it's not going to mean anything to you. Because lots of Oracle drops today, as the Oracle tells us,
You're not going to magically force someone to want to get better. You have to come to that conclusion yourself. You have to want to get better.
you have to want to learn, want to get better. I don't have the answers, I'm on my way to discover them. But yeah, that's what we do in this. That's literally what the channel is about. Figuring out how you get questions and how you get answers, both. So, we have discovered that question leading to a problem that becomes the next stage of dream analysis. That problem playing out in your present. How do I get a girlfriend that doesn't leave me? Yeah, that can be a good start. A meaningful relationship. That can be a question. Carry that question, get into the reading, go back through the episodes, and you might find a way of answering it. Or don't, and stay stuck in your problems. And the very thing that was done to you to keep you stuck in your problems, not only will you carry it with you your whole life and carry it with you into your negative reincarnation, you'll be doing it to others all the way through your life. You'll be doing unto others the same problem that was done unto you. That's injustice. So we're learning how to become good people. How do we overcome that and stop doing that and instead turn everything around? The word for turning it all around is Usia. Fortunately, you can watch the whole series at no charge. You can buy me a coffee if you like. There is a donation link below. You don't have to. All it will take is a good head and a good heart, and you'll get there. So, at the end of this next dialectic, part 2 of 4, my first paycheck is going for you getting new pickups for the electric. Sure, that'd be great. I'm thinking about playing that guitar. The scalloped frets. What pickups? Let's not... What pickups? No, you mustn't answer that question. What pickups are you thinking? Because it's a Strat, but I like humbuckers. I've never played like proper P90s or anything like that. Wait about 10 months. Mustn't answer that question. It's not guitar talk right now. But interesting to think about. EMGs! Mustn't answer that question. Come on, calm down.
I've been a bad little girl.
Everyone's been a bad girl.
Wrong. You're so wrong. But that's okay.
Are we wrong?
These are, I feel like, lessons that children understand.
Right. So, yes, children can understand this because children get dreams too. If children are old enough to get a problem, they're old enough to reflect on our problems. So, but we're learning. So, the problem in your present throughout your past, and the key logos is the original teaching scene. Oh, good thing we're knowing the difference between belief and understanding. You've been dreaming lately. Good for you. We are learning the method of going through dream analysis. So it's worth doing, worth reviewing today's episode. It'll be on the VOD of Twitch, and also I'll post it on YouTube after I finish. Turning point. So the logos, the origin scene, the original teaching, the fake logos, the false belief of the family clan that was introduced in this origin scene that you've seen plays out through your past is influencing your present, and is the problem that you are here that your dream is to address, that your dream is communicating to you about, is in this origin scene. And how does it turn about? What's the Usia? It's the fake Usia. It's keeping you trapped in fate.
People don't logic their way into stupid positions. They stupid their way into
This is it. This is the stupiding your way into stupid positions. This is the origin of all human problems, injustice, ignorance, and suffering. Right here. And you've found it. If you've reached this stage of dream analysis. Why is it a key usia or turning point? Your life turns about on this. You've been on one trajectory to fulfill your purpose, discover the self, master the self logos, and your earliest teachers say, no, you mustn't, not in this house. We're all Catholics, we're all Muslims, you can't do this. We're not going to change our way of being. Fuck you. We're the adults. I worked so hard and so long to get to the position where I can finally have someone who gives two shits about my opinions. I can do unto others what was done unto me with impunity. I'll be fucked if some little baby is going to take that away from me. Is the unspoken motivation behind all human parents. That's part of the game in this scene, and you've discovered it. Congratulations, you've discovered the root, stupiding your way into stupid problems. So, past, present, or future, it keeps you trapped in a future fate. You will find someone like as our chatter says, you'll find a girlfriend just like your mum. You will play that same shit out on her. If you have kids, you'll play it out on them. They'll pass it on until everyone dies. They'll vote for someone who is just as unjust. They'll vote for a Trump or a Netanyahu who kill everyone. Like you said, you'll follow your father's footsteps. You'll find a job where you can play out your same injustice to other people. As a billionaire, as a cop, as a politician, as a religious official. My dad was an imam, I'm going to be an imam too. My dad was a rabbi, I'm going to be a rabbi. Why? So I can play out the same injustice of my personal beliefs that was done unto me. That's the axiom motivating all human souls who have not reached this level of reflection on their dreams. Hey, every human being gets 4 or 5 dreams every night. It's not like you're not being told to pay attention. It's not like you're not being helped. It's just a matter of waking up and listening. So now, you've reached the origin scene of your problems. I have a question. I'm a Christian. You're not a Christian. Christianity is a belief system that you inherited. You don't know what Christianity is. You don't know Paul. You don't know why Paul had problems. You don't know why Paul said he was greater than Jesus. Modern Christians are Pauline. I suggest you go through our previous series, Socrates and Jesus, A Dialogue in Heaven, and learn what you need to do to understand the tradition that you were born into. Number 1. Number 2, you're not a belief. You're the self. You're here to discover the self. To say I am a Christian is like saying I am my car. A belief is something you have, not who you are. Humans can become stuck in their ignorant beliefs by identifying with them. How dare you challenge my genocide, says the Zionist Jews. It's who I am. Bullfuck. You're not a Jew. That's a belief system that you didn't choose. You're choosing to save it by neglecting your actual purpose to learn to A, find your false beliefs and remove them, and B, learn how to think properly, understanding. Let's keep going. I was born into a family that pushed their Christian beliefs onto me that I am identifying with. But I also try to see what's going on outside of that. Oh, that's good. That's great. Our point is to free ourselves from beliefs. After all, if you understand the nature of reality and self, why would you believe the Pope? Why would you believe anyone if you understand it? I don't follow the church. Good. I try to see all perspectives. Oh, great. The next step would be judging which perspectives are good and understanding the difference between personal perspective and understanding. Is it your perspective that 1 and 1 is 2, or is that the truth that you can apprehend by understanding basic math? Who cares about perspective? Don't you want the truth? If somebody said, hey, it's my perspective that you play a guitar by plugging it into the hairdryer. I don't care what your perspective is. I want to know how to actually plug my guitar into an amp, thanks. That's the next step. So good for you for being curious. Good for you for branching outside of the limitations imposed on us in this early scene. The goal is to learn the difference between belief and understanding, which is why we're reading this book. Why we say it's a necessary must-read, top 10 book of all time. And you'll find a free PDF below. In the chat, I don't believe no one caused this world. It's too messed up. Right, that's the difference between you and the people who've been watching. If you've been going along with the series, you can understand the cause of human problems and how it's affecting our society and species and its history. And if you understand that, would you have to believe? Or would you just see? So this is where we're at. The key logos, or the key aspect of our past where we got that fake logos, the original teaching, whatever it happens to be, the false belief about yourself and reality, and the key turning point because your life turns around. Now you're stuck in the fate of the family tradition that your parents got from their parents, got from their parents, got from their parents, all the way back to the cave. The cycle of ignorance. However, now we are learning we are getting the tools to overcome fate and ignorance and the cycle of injustice. So what's that called? A primary causal teaching from an origin initiation scene that keeps your life, turns your life around. You're going one way and now you're going another way. That's formally called an initiation scene. So the pathologos initiation scene. So what was formerly a puzzle at the end of this dialectic becomes a problem. Now you're seeing your life in a new way. What was formerly a problem, by seeing it play out your present, past, and trapping you into a future because of this origin scene, that problem question has now evolved. It's gone from Charmander to Charmeleon to Charizard. It's now a question about a fake initiation scene. It's an imitation of spirituality. The fake Dharma. A Chameleon observer, says our chatter. I see the behaviors of those around me and draw different conclusions. No, you draw conclusions that support the beliefs that you don't know you're carrying. Right? Ever met a racist person? They say the same thing. I'm not racist. I just watch what's happening and I, draw my conclusions, and it's pretty damn obvious that those brown people are blah, 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 blah. Ever met a Christian, or you're Christian, ever met a Muslim? I'm not prejudiced. It's just obvious that Allah is blah, 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 blah. Have you not seen a sunset? It's clearly Allah's shining upon us. That's how belief works. The pages of human history aren't soaked in blood for no reason at all. I have a lot of friends with different religions. Yeah, but you're a human being. You have human problems. That's called integrity. It's not just everyone else who's mistaken, and you happen to have the right religion. You happen to have the right opinions. You happen to have the right teachers. Your parents happen to be the smartest and wisest. Your mother happened to be a saint, but all other mothers, all other fathers, all other religions, all other beliefs are wrong. That's insane. That's juvenile. What it means to be a grown-up is to say, hang on a second, it's not that I happen to fall into the right family. I am the chosen one. It's that all beliefs are in principle bad and false. Because that's what belief means. Why the fuck would you believe someone if you can understand it for yourself? That's why things that we understand, like medicine, no one says, it's my belief that humans should have 6 arms. No. There's no belief in medicine. It's understanding the human body, understanding the model of medicine, and understanding how to use it to help people. When you play guitar, it's my belief that you put the pick up your nose. No. It's understanding how to hold your pick, understanding how to play the chords, understanding how the major scale works, understanding the pentatonic. It's my belief that pentatonic has 8 notes. No, that's not the truth. That's the difference between belief and understanding. We can't just... I use many examples. That's why I use different examples. You might have a prejudice or block against medicine, but you can understand that there's a difference between understanding music and believing that the pentatonic has 8 notes. It doesn't. But it's my belief it has 8 notes. No, but it's wrong. That's the difference between understanding and belief. Now, what we are doing is applying it to ourselves. Do you want to know why you're here? Do you want to know what you are? Do you want to just make up some bullshit or believe some other person's made up bullshit? Or do you want to actually answer those questions? If you don't want to answer those questions, then you're stuck. But if you have a meaningful goal, my opinion is, notice I keep saying there's a difference between understanding and beliefs, right? That's the key idea. Because beliefs can be any old shit. My crazy Aunt Betty's beliefs in racism. Beliefs are not about truth. They block us from truth. So who cares about opinions? Who cares about trust? Understand. That's the game. So the game that we are in is understanding our dreams so that we can understand the origin of our specific beliefs that keep us or you specifically attached to your specific problem. Now, that means that we have reached stage 3 of the 4 dialectics, or the expansion of the single dialectic. The original term, or the key term, that's the definition, is the initiation scene. Now, This is where we stop. Why? Because this is where it becomes difficult. This is where you need real courage and integrity. Why? Because now the question from the book is, if wisdom and understanding is so great, why is belief more powerful? Why would humans rather carry their stupid bullshit ass beliefs and fight to the death for them? Why would we fight against our own benefit, our own truth, our own development, our own utopia? Ever met someone who say, humans can't have a utopia? That's unreasonable. Why are you fighting against your own interests? We can't have wealth inequality. We need some injustice. Why are you fighting against goodness? That's our question. There has to be a reason why we're attached to the beliefs that cause us to fight against our own interest, benefit, truth, and expertise. Yeah, that's right. People manipulate others through beliefs. That's right. You got it. You got it, my friend. But what keeps us attached to our beliefs? Why do we say I am a Christian and not I agree with some of the Christian beliefs? Now we have a bit of an insight to the question from the text. Because there was an initiation scene. Someone appeared to reflect what's true initiation? Ousia. It's a good thing we've been reading. Why? Because everything we've been reading about what we are actually after, our peak states of mind itself, or being, the realm of being, and all of the key terms we have been learning in you can't be a belief. It's like saying would you agree that you have a belief? Some people have a different belief. Some people are Jewish. By the way, do you have a car? Would you say, I am my car? Why identify with something that you have? It's not you. By the way, if you say I am my car and you find out the car is broken and needs to be scrapped, what will happen? You will fight against scrapping the car, right? Because you think that car is you. You will fight to the death to prevent that car from being scrapped, even though the car is broken. That's why it's so dangerous to say, I am a belief. What if the belief is horseshit and the cause of mass genocide? Well, I am that belief. I'm going to fight for it. I don't care. I am a MAGA. I don't care if Trump did crimes. So, our peak experience, the actual nature of spirituality, is being. And the key terms or ideas or aspects that we've been learning about with the Logos define it. So in other words, Ousia is the whole and Logos is its parts. Ousia is the model, Logos is its aspects. So in other words, we stop at this level of dream analysis because you have to be in the text to keep going. Why? Because it's by reading these texts that you can understand the actual nature of mind or being as a whole and its aspects, so that you can address this new definition, the division stage of dream analysis. If it's a fake initiation scene, it has to be a distorted reflection in the physical world of appearances meaning the more that you understand. Now you can do some, I mean, you don't have to stop here, provided the midwife has gone through this themselves and can ask the directed questions. But the better you have been reading, the more you can say, hang on a second, the reason why I'm so identified with my beliefs is, just as true initiation is ousia, or being, with its aspects of the logos, justice, beauty, whole and part, excellence, so too my parental figures or parental surrogates must have imitated, cosplayed, faked, scammed, lied to me about being, to knowing the nature of being, and must have given the appearance or imitation of justice, of beauty, of truth. They were so confident, or they opened up for the first time, or they really shared a key teaching. I've never seen Ma or Pa so beautiful and radiant, so fully themselves. That's why we have the sound drop from Keegan Tegan. We have the sound drop from Keegan Tegan. This one here. It's a long one.
This guy had to admit that the people in his life who helped convince him to be a conservative in the first place, parents, clergy, other authority figures, were wrong. Not only was wrong, but lied to him, and that he fell for it. All of that takes so much courage and character.
So we're at a key turning point in our self-development. This is a turning point in our lives. We either stay stuck on our train of ignorance, or we do what Keegan Tegan says, reflect on our earliest teachers and parental figures. It takes courage and character. It takes a good head and a good heart. Why? What's the question of the book? If wisdom is so great, why are beliefs the most powerful force in the universe? More powerful even than enlightenment. Because those images of our parental figures reflecting beauty, justice, and truth, we love. Why? Because when we do reach the truth of reality or mind or being, it is beauty itself, it is justice itself, it's the truth that these jabronis were imitating as they imitated their parents, and they imitated their parents all the way back to cavemen. We're imitating cavemen in this bullshit game, by the way. As beautiful as your parents seemed, their parents seemed that way to them, and so on to the cave. But that's so beautiful that we maintain it as the model of truth, beauty, and excellence. So too, we defend and maintain our images of our beloved Ma and Pa. Something so simple. And you think, well, hang on a second. You can look over the back fence and say, well, those alcoholics living next door, they're not great parents. But their kids think they are. And those weirdos with their crazy religion across the street, they act like they know everything, but they're so ignorant and crazy. They're a cult. Their children don't think that. Now, even though those two simple steps of self-reflection should be enough for every human being to wake up and say, hang on a second, why do I think my parents are so loving and beautiful and knowing, specifically in this origin scene? But it's not. So it may take many dreams for someone to get to that stage where they have seen over and over and over the same problem in their dreams, over and over and over the same sorts of problems repeating in their life until the stakes become so high. But also, in the meantime, hopefully reading lots and lots and lots of the other questions about beliefs, about understanding, and your specific ideas, so they can now take that next step. Last time we talked about how we often have well, this is the source of our anger, our counterattacks to save our beliefs. We have to be developing our reading and our reflection and developing courage and character, encouraging our friends to do the same thing, because now it matters. Because now you've seen you are in a sick spiritual tradition, you have seen the nature of all human problems, and you have seen your own. This is a turning point. This is the call to adventure. You either become Harry Potter or you live your life under that stairwell.
I'm looking for someone to share in an adventure.
You either become Lord of the Rings or you die alone in Hobbiton as the orcs take over. So, the fake initiation scene. Meaning, we have to use analogy to compare what we are learning from our reading about the true initiation scene. I should write this on the board. From our reading, we have to compare about the true nature of enlightenment and the initiation scene. Both ousia of being and the logos of its aspects. There's our ousia and logos again, the two things that we use. So that we can use analogy to contrast with the lesser of belief. The more that we learn about belief from what we read, the better we can do this analogy. So, the more that we learn about belief, the more that we learn about understanding, the better we can do this. Hope I can see you more, bro. Hope you feel better. And we can talk more about our movies and stuff on our music stream. What we're talking about right here is the turning point to what will make a man a good man or a bad man. So it's kind of important. But again, it might not make a lot of sense unless you go back to the beginning of the series. But you'll find it on YouTube. Quite good. Meaning of life and stuff. Yeah, I'm feeling depressed today. I don't know why, but meh, is life. Have a nice one. Yeah, so what we're learning is how to become curious about our states of mind and understand them, and what messages our life and our state of mind and our problems have to us, so we can not just be okay with being meh, but reach our, higher states of being. So what does that mean? So we have to continue to read read the Logos books like the one we're reading. To understand the truth, and learn the dialectic so analogy to make the contrast and dialectic to answer the question, to answer our specific belief question. So that fourth question that we are here to give birth, or to nurture and become pregnant with and eventually give birth to, what's that question about our specific beliefs? We have to continue reading to learn about the truth, true initiation scene, to learn about analogy and dialectic, to make the comparison, and to answer. But also we have to be learning more about what Harry has been teaching us. Read about beliefs, or read pathologos books. Books about the pathologos. And there's only one. Well, there are a couple. There's the Philosophical Midwifery, a new paradigm for understanding human problems. And then there is its condensed, more easily accessible versions, the Pocket Pierre and its companion workbook, Unblocking. They are, hey, welcome, Reeve. You can buy the Pocket Pierre and Unblocking often as a pair on like Amazon and stuff. But really, there are those three books that discuss the nature of the pathologos. Now, we have been reading up till chapter 5 of the Orange Book. So really, it's the Orange Book. And it's abbreviated Orange Book. And also which is the Philosophical Midwifery book of Philosophical Midwifery, but also there's the Pocket Pierre. And Unblocking that are more abridged and easily unblocking. So now we have a map for our channel's progress. We have to keep reading books that reflect the Logos, and also books that discuss that explore the Pathologos, so that we can go address this initiation scene in this kind of a way. To learn the true and the false, to make the analogy comparison, and at the same time learn the dialectic to answer. And the more that we practice the dialectic through dream analysis, through reading, through exploring ideas with our friends, the better we can answer. Which means, well, we've got the 4 terms of definition with our puzzle, the 4 terms of demonstration with our problem, the first term of division, meaning to complete the map of the most important human activity, dream analysis, so that you can answer your specific question about your specific belief That's the cause of your problems that you are likely have been born here to address. Necessary to unblock yourself to be able to fully understand with mastery beliefs, understanding, and your specific idea. The demonstration, division, and conclusion within division, and the definition, demonstration, division, and conclusion within the conclusion. That's for you to figure out, to contribute to the wisdom tradition of humanity. So conclusion would be how you would answer in a way that that fully answers it and demonstrates that you are in the Dharma now. You have been freed from your problem. The division takes this definition of we'll put that in as well. Takes the definition of the fake initiation scene, fake enlightenment initiation scene, the fake initiation origin scene, and you would therefore have to understand what was really being demonstrated. You would have to, what divisions? What were the other people doing there? Was it just your dad or your mum? Was your mum there? Were your family members there? How does it play out through the divisions of your family life? How would that conclude? What conclusion would you have had to have come to if you bought in to this initiation and origin of your problem? And with our work that we've been doing in our reading, these two kinds of books. Oh, we could also say Homer's Iliad demonstrates Achilles going through this process and freeing himself from his pathologos, also doing dream analysis. How do you answer? What would you say about what was really, what name would you give to what was really happening? Not the name that they presumed, but the name based on their actual functioning. What would you say about what's being demonstrated? In truth. So you're answering with Logos and Usia what you didn't have the strength and capacity of Logos and Usia to answer at that time. You're giving the problem back to them because it's theirs. As Harry said in the book, I'm going down with the ship, but it's not even my ship. You're giving the problem back to the person who owns the ship. What would you say about how that's played out in your life? Their life? Human life? And how would you conclude? To demonstrate complete, sufficient freedom and movement from belief, a loyal member of the old tradition, and now being a member of the new. The true state of man, the Hellenic tradition. Love of understanding. It's for you to answer. Because there isn't a book written about dream analysis. The author of the book we're reading has left that for us to do. So, at least from reflecting on our Pathologos dreams, we have enough to become curious about our problem, which was our goal. Our goal was to become curious about the 4 aspects. How do we become curious about beliefs themselves? Oh, that's Harry. Oh, also the midwifery book. How do we become curious about understanding? Oh, that's Joseph. And all of the other books that we read on this channel. Is there any specific idea? Oh, that's Aaliyah. In the books that we're reading and the conversations that we're having, some ideas jumped out at Aaliyah. It kept coming up for her. So as we read, there'll be an idea that keeps coming up for you. Either you'll notice it or your friends will notice it. So in other words, these 1, 2, 3 questions come from our reading. The key one, the one that blocks the development of all 3, keeps us bound to our ignorance that may be the reason we've become reincarnated at this place and time in the first place. Not understanding itself or the specific idea of understanding, not beliefs itself, but the specific belief. By applying what we have been learning in how to read our books to our dreams, we have enough to become puzzled about our dreams, puzzled about our problem, and even developed a deeper curiosity or question about our problem, coming all the way back to a origin scene. Our next goal, our next step would be, how do we sufficiently understand what was happening in that origin scene, and how do we sufficiently answer it? So, meaningful questions up there in terms of the most meaningful. If that's the case, we can carry those questions about belief in general, and if you have been doing work on your dreams, your specific beliefs, we can carry those 2 questions along with our questions about understanding and your specific idea with us to finish reading the text, which we'll do next time. I was planning on doing a quick review and then finishing it, but we got carried away with a lot of fun with our friends today. And then also as we have seen the significance of analogy as the functioning of, as the activity of one of the 2 activities of logos along with dialectic, but also we've seen the significance in addressing and freeing ourselves from our problem at the later stages of dream analysis. By the way, some people it takes decades to reach this stage. So don't stop doing dreams. You'll see more and more about different aspects of because your problem has many different aspects or facades like a diamond. The more you see of the manyness of your problems, the better. You've got to see every side of that diamond. But the last section of the book is on analogy, and now we can see how important it is for finishing our work in dream analysis. Cool stuff? Well, Is that a sufficient model? What do we read in the text? A wisdom tradition is that which provides a model for your movement and development within the wisdom, within, wait a minute, we're missing a term. We've seen that we got two activities. The lesser, freeing ourselves from our beliefs. The greater, mastering our understanding. Didn't we also recognize that if there is a lesser distortion of a greater, there must be a primary cause that we said was superior, prior, and independent to its dialectical reflection, because the dialectic also has two categories. What if it is, what if it isn't? A primary cause that is prior, superior, and independent. To the greater reflection of self, or the self that exists, that is or exists in our state of mind as a whole. And is reflected into what if the self isn't? What if the self was just relative? So what's the primary cause that is prior, superior, and independent of self? Or self? That's reflected. The primary cause self would be a way of saying it, wouldn't it? Therefore, this activity that we've been doing takes us out of our everyday world level of parts. The parts, the physical parts that we perceive through our senses, that we apprehend through belief, that becomes either a projection of our problems or the initiation to our problem. By engaging in our reading and reflection that we do here, we are drawing our attention away from the lesser parts to the greater whole. All of these ideas of wholeness and sameness, of model and principles and being, we don't see in the physical world. Our mind infers them. So you could say, well, as our beliefs project onto the parts, so too our mind projects the ideas onto our grasping of wholes with intelligence. So our question of how do we have these increase our self-reflection to the point where we can know to know mind itself is a question about wholes. What is doing the wholing? What is perceiving the whole of beauty, the whole of justice, or the whole of your experience of seeing, hearing, and thinking right now? What's doing the wholing? Therefore, we can say the greater, kissing that princess, is a movement to the whole of mind, reflecting on your state of mind. What's the cause of that? If that's the whole of mind, Usia, what's the state of mind Usia of self? So we've got one final question. So crushing the Turts, kissing the princess, and getting the gold star of them and winning the Mario Party. How do we answer that question? Well, we found the missing question in here with the dreams. What do we say was our theme today? How can I take what it took for me to get to where I am, can I turn around and share it with others? That's the demonstration of the Dharma. That's the A is to B as B is to C. As the author is creating, as we are finishing the model of dream analysis, as we would be demonstrating ourselves at the end of our dream analysis activity. By the way, in dream analysis, maybe you only go from here to here for over weeks of talks. So you don't have to go through the whole thing in one. I mean, you can if you're that good. But often this takes a long time to go through even these smaller stages. The last stage. If this begins with the fake initiation scene of parents unto you as their parents unto them, how would it conclude? A is to B. How can you turn around and do unto someone else, or share with someone else what it took for you to go through this whole process yourself? So how do we get a question about that? By the way, what's our process? Wait, this has to be orange. A, B, and C goals. To turn back, the primary cause that creates the greater, that is then distorted into lesser. Hang on a second. To turn around and to share what it took for you. Hang on, what did it take for us to get to the gold star? To purify our false beliefs and specific beliefs, and to perfect our understanding and specific ideas or aspects of understanding. That would be what we're sharing in a way that allows people to participate in dialectic and analogy to unpack the puzzles and questions and develop their own understanding themselves and go through the same process we're going through right now. What did we say is necessary to go through that process? To to address our specific beliefs and to get guidance on every one of the other questions? Dreams. Therefore, whatever happens to be making our dreams, must they have gone through this same process in some way to be able to communicate through analogy and dialectic and key terms through our dreams these two messages, A and B. Therefore, while we get our as we learn to read the Logos books, we apply that our dreams to address our specific beliefs. This question here is that to do with the dream maker, who seems to be doing the very thing we want to be doing at the end of our journey. If so, every step of the way that you go through these stages, these stages of dream analysis, at the end of every talk, you can ask the question: what do we make of the dream maker? What does it say about our dream maker that it was able to do this, communicate so meaningfully, so significantly, so importantly, that was urgent or necessary? Guide us in the way. As you look at your dreams, going through this process, you can also wonder about your dreams. As you go through this process, you can therefore become curious about or become pregnant with the fifth question. The fifth question: the dream maker. And as you facilitate dream analysis with others by asking the questions, using this map, again, adjusting it to meet the specific needs of the dream and dreamer, you can ask them, hey, what do you make of the dream maker? Or as Pierre Grimes would say at the end of a dream talk, you can't get anything out of dreams. So that the person goes, yes, you can, of course. This was the most meaningful conversation I've ever had in my life. And the variations. Dreams are just chemistry of your brain. Dreams are just neurons firing. Our dream maker is stupid. To encourage the person, hang on a second, no, it's not, it's the opposite. Like with our question about elephants earlier. By the way, technically, these last two stages is the transition from dream analysis, understanding, getting a question of the dream, seeing the drama of the dream, seeing how the dream and all the other analogies and aspects you've seen play out, what you've defined in the dream, seeing how it's being demonstrated in the present. Once you've reached the origin scene, technically this is a transition into philosophical midwifery, because you're addressing the origin scene. You've left dreams now. No, you haven't, because as you address them, it's likely, because dreams are so profound and rich, you will be getting guidance or clues or hints on how to go through this answering. In the same way, a philosophical midwife provides the ideal supportive conditions for putting logos on what you didn't put logos in this fake initiation scene. No blame, no punishment, none of that. Encouragement, asking the questions over and over, all that sort of thing. So too, if the highest standard of the functioning of self of a midwife dialectician is our dream maker, wouldn't it also be providing the conditions for that too? Meaning, any metaphor, simile, state of mind, aspect of the drama, insight that you got from your dream, if dream analysis becomes the opening point for philosophical midwifery, they can help you too. They can put you in the ideal state of mind and give you clues or guidance or hints to help in your midwifery, wouldn't it? Therefore, once again, dream analysis being the most important human activity. Hang on a second. Well, it's all fine and good to write on the board these aspects of the meaning of life. Our two primary capacities, the two buttons on our gamepad. Its terms and activities and its goals. Peak states of mind, or ousia. Through the logos terms and the dialectic and analogy. Applied to our two activities, purifying the false and perfecting understanding. But we need 4 questions for that. Beliefs and our specific beliefs, understanding and our specific ideas that motivate and inspire us. Right, Emma?
Do a poggers.
Do a poggers.
Jester Goon Maxed.
Yeah. And then today was to see the significance of this kind of question that we can't get from our reading of the books. We need our dreams, our specific beliefs. But everything we learn from reading, we apply to our dreams to get that. But then we're left with a final question. If that's the greater and lesser, what's the ultimate? Giving us 5 questions. Remember when we said that there were 4 dreams, but a hidden and mysterious 5th? A hidden and mysterious 5th class of dream that has not been mentioned as yet? And we said that 5th kind of dream must be something superior, prior, independent, and causal of the other kinds. Doesn't that sound like our 5th question? What is that which is prior, superior, independent, and the cause of? The cause self? The cause of the greater and the lesser? The other 4 questions? Does our 5th question about the dream maker itself give us any clues into what the 5th class of dream might turn out to be? When I say it hasn't been mentioned, it hasn't been mentioned by Pierre. We hit it. It's a puzzle for us to discover. Got 5 questions, 5 classes of dreams. Are you puzzled? Remember what the Oracle says?
I have known people who go to therapy, but they don't actually want to grow and improve and change as people. They just use all the therapy speak to help, like, continue being a shitty person.
We need to be curious. Oh, as the other one says.
You're not going to magically force someone to want to get better.
You have to come to that conclusion yourself. You have to get better.
It's our curiosity and questions and wonder and inspiration and puzzlement that moves us forward, that motivates us, that keeps us in the game. is this question about the fifth class of dream. And our question about our fifth question that we are to become pregnant with. Make you curious? Are you puzzled? Is this cool? If so, if this question about the fifth question and the question about the fifth class of dream, could this be some sort of mega question that we can take with us as we finish the book? Well, only one way to find out, isn't there? Thank you for our new chatters, and thank you for the reflection. Fun, interesting, unexpected, but worthwhile. Thanks for stopping in, Reeve. Thanks for saying hi as well. I guess next time we'll finish the book with this question in hand. Isn't it cool? 2 activities, each with 2 questions, so 4 primary questions. Actually, there may be a third activity, get that gold star. Led into a 5th question that we are to become curious about. And maybe reflecting on our dream maker as we go through dream analysis might help us out with that. Who knows? If you want to share your insights and thoughts with friends, you can join the Discord. You can buy me a coffee if you want to donate to the channel. There's a link below. You can get the text link below. I recommend, after this, I guess we're going to be going back to the Orange Book. And maybe our reading of the Orange Book can help us nail down those final stages of dream analysis and philosophical midwifery. Maybe we'll get into symposium. I haven't decided. I'm not sure. Thanks for joining me. I hope you're puzzled. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're curious. Yeah. Hey, by the way, are we in the realm of mind? At no point did we talk about we did talk about specific parts as analogies, but we're just talking about the whole. We're reflecting on mind. Are you curious about the whole? Or what is wholing? What is taking the parts of our physical perception and bringing it into a whole? Recognizing, grasping, cognitizing it. There's some sort of cognition happening at the same time, some sort of understanding of what the whole that you are bringing. What's bringing everything into whole? Have you ever thought of your senses as kind of a whole? Is it like a sphere of some kind? That's a whole? Is that what mind does? Whole? And if the greater is a whole, is there an ultimate whole? So, from parts in belief in the physical mundane world to a whole of all parts in mind to a whole beyond parts, what would that be? Is that a different kind of a whole? Hey, as you ask that question about the whole of mind, I keep talking about the chicken. You don't see a whole chicken. You see the parts of chicken. Your mind infers the whole. What are we interested in? What are we motivated by? Beauty. Justice. That's the best things in life, right? Our most beautiful friends. Our most just activities. That's not in the physical world. That's something we're doing with our minds. Why is everything that's worth doing in the physical world pointing to mind? What does it say that it's pointing back? ousia to mind. And if mind is where all the fun is, could that be pointing back to something else as well? So as you wonder about the whole of mind, what's watching? There has to be something grasping that sense of a whole as you automatically beauty, just, unjust, not beautiful, whole, part, same, different. All of this wholing, all of this use of those self-logos terms that are not in the physical world, your mind's doing it, but you can perceive it as a whole. What's watching that? Is that a different kind of a whole? How is that different? And how may that kind of question that we can carry with us, how does that reflect this analogy here? Whole of mind and the... If that's the whole of mind, it has been said that there is only really one state of mind. The true state of mind is the self. What's that? If it is primary, superior to, prior to, independent of, independent. The whole of all of your senses brought together into a wholeness, done by mind. What's watching that whole? Is that a greater whole? Independent. I think ANT maybe. If everything in the physical world is just pointing back to what your mind is anyway, even those peak ousia states of mind, is that a greater reflection of something that you have even more primarily than that? What kind of a whole is aware of it? And how the heck could that be related to a fifth class of dream and our dream maker itself? Because we're not talking about something dead here or dumb. We're talking about the highest level of functioning, the highest kind of text. Our dreams is like our text, but even higher. Get rid of daydreams because we're not really talking about daydreams, are we? I liked it because there was two dreams and daydreams. It matched the structure of the pairs. So, what's watching the whole? By the way, as you carry these questions with you in your day, if our pathologos exist within the lesser of the parts, the physical world of senses that are only parts, our wondering about the whole of seeing, hearing, and thinking, the whole as a whole, the wholing whole, wholing whole, or mind-minding, wholing or mind-minding, might that have the effect of taking you out of those problems that block us? Elevating from the physical mundane world of injustice and beliefs to what they actually point to, justice and the whole, and beauty and whole? If so, what would it be like to ask that next question? What kind of a whole is... Oops. What kind of a whole is watching that? And how would that relate to our ultimate or one true state of mind behind the whole thing? behind the whole thing? To carry a question is to be on a quest. And it's these questions that move us anagogically on our journey.
You're a wizard, Harry.
We're all wizards.
I'm looking for someone to share in an adventure.
And that's why we have this channel, Gandalf, to share the adventure with all those who have the curiosity and aptitude to wonder in this kind of a way with us. Let's wonder together. And I wonder if I'll see you next time. Hey, you're back, and this time on YouTube. Link. Well, we just hit the end of the stream. But oh yeah, if you're on YouTube, you can go through the whole series at your own pace and have fun. And I'll see you with wonder in the next one.